I've been on quite the odyssey with this thing this morning. As some of you may possibly recall, my main keyboard is slightly broken and entirely encased in cardboard, and I've been getting the creative itch again. So I decided to finally take a look at this other one I have that somebody gave me, about 2 years ago or so. And I did a little bit of poking around, and I managed to find a power cord for it, and lo and behold, it lights up, and everything seems to work. You can see all the numbers on the screen, all the knobs wibble and wobble, all the sliders slittle and slidle. But so I went and started doing some poking around. I managed to find the owner's manual here. Started going around digging through this, and first thing I realized is that this has an audio interface built into it, which is excellent because, again, as some of you may recall, this audio interface is on its way out the door. It is constantly cutting out, especially if I bump it. I'm pretty sure it's the USB connector is working its way loose, and any vibration has an intermittent connection, and the drivers start freaking out. And theoretically, I could open it up and try to resolder the USB thing, but soldering has never really been my strongest suit. I only have a very terrible, cheap USB iron, and it's sealed up somewhere inside a box just like my other keyboard. So, no go on that front. But moving on, since this has an audio interface, that means I could potentially use this as a replacement for that. It's got a port on the back for XLR. I can plug in ye olde SMB. Is it a 57? 58, SM58. Ooh, let's not knock the table over. All right, the old SM58 plugs in here. I've got some headphones hooked up, tested it out. You can see, check, see the little lights blinking over there? We've got audio coming through. That all works. But then we run to the problem. I was even able to go and find the driver for it, but the problem we have is that it is Firewire. Where's the port here? Yes, the dreaded triple axis of incompatibility from an ancient past. This is a quite old keyboard, despite it being entirely functional. And the problem we have here is that I have a Windows computer, which, because it was built, more recently than a decade ago, doesn't have Firewire on it. And as you inevitably discover as you start doing research into this, Firewire to USB, why it doesn't exist and never will. So, because Firewire intrinsically needs to write directly to memory in the computer and USB doesn't allow that, that means we're just SOL for trying to get a USB to Firewire adapter for it. The alternate option, if you need to hook something Firewire up, is install a PCI card, which will allow you to write directly to memory. Problem with that is my dinky little computer does not have a spare PCI slot for me to install such a card. So that leaves us in a bit of trouble with that one. I could still take this. This also has regular MIDI in and outputs, so I could get a MIDI to USB adapter and run the keyboard off this, but then I don't get the benefit of using the audio interface as well. So, yep, that's kind of where we're at. Also, I don't have one of these cables. I've never really used normal MIDI stuff. It's always been virtual MIDI over USB or whatever. But these cables are relatively cheap, so theoretically I could spend $10, get a cable, and use this to at least fiddle around, play some music, make some beats, whatever. But it is a bummer that until I have an entirely different computer that can run Firewire, I can't use it on there. I have I have two older computers just kind of sitting around that I'm not using. But they're very old. They don't have all of the bits and bobs they need to really run, and I don't feel like installing an operating system on them and trying to get this all to work. Plus, this has to run on either Mac or Windows. It doesn't have Linux drivers, which, and then, if I'm not using it on my primary computer, why bother? Oh well, I've rambled enough. That's what I have spent my morning doing, is figuring all of that out, as well as some other cleaning and organizing, which I won't show you because there's some mess in the middle of it still. But we are making progress. Anyways, thank you for listening. Goodbye.